Hello YouTube. Right before the video starts, I do want to shout out Avi Ward, who is a new manga slash light novel YouTuber that I found recently, and I do want everyone to show her some support. Please go check out her channel. It's linked up above in the card, and do let her know I sent you, and subscribe, like her videos, and comment on them. Help her out with her journey as she starts out. Thank you guys very much. Hope you guys enjoy the video. See you guys next time. Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are doing another light novel review. Now today we will be reviewing The Eminence in Shadow by Daisuke Aizawa and illustrated by Tozai. This is published by Yen Press, or Yen On, as you guys can see right there, and the demographic, as far as I can tell, seems to be seinen. I couldn't find anywhere online that told me it was shonen or seinen, so I just picked seinen because it seems a lot like darker than what you would assume shonen would be. But this can easily be a shonen story. I don't really know. I just picked seinen because I think that fits better. And the genres here are isekai and dark fantasy. This does have a manga adaptation, but I don't know when the anime comes out for it, or if there even is going to be an anime. This is also based on a web novel. Now, the premise here is that this Chunibyo, which is basically a young teenager with like delusions of grandeur, wants to be this Machiavellian puppet master. And after getting isekai'd by Truck-kun, he gets his chance. And it turns out that the delusions and stories that he comes up with in this world end up being true. And it's a very funny premise and a very weird story, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, let's just jump into the evaluation now. So the plot line here is very good. It's very straightforward, and it's a very action-packed story. However, it's kind of interesting because the story has to be told in a very cloak and dagger kind of way, because the main character acts like that. He wants to be a normie on the outside and just be a normal middle class, like average kid, and be like what would basically be a side character in someone else's story, in the outside world, but then inside in the shadows be like this crazy puppet master shadow broker thing. And so a lot of times the action is very, large scale, but it happens far away from other people, and it's kind of like a lonely type of action, I guess. And it's very interesting. I really enjoyed it. The key points here are basically the introduction of the character and getting isekai'd. But you don't have all of those problems where, like, okay, we gotta meet the goddess, and then she has to give me a quest, and then I have to go into the other world. We skip all that. He literally just dies and then wakes up one day as a baby, and he's like, oh, I'm in another world. This is like medieval Europe, and there's magic here. Woohoo! Good stuff. And after that, he basically starts a secret organization when he's around 10 years old by accidentally healing a girl that was going through this like zombification process, basically. Like, if you guys ever read Elantris by Brandon Sanderson or know the premise, it's basically like magic gets out of control, turns people into zombies, and then they get ostracized by society. Basically the same idea here. This like outpour of magic that goes out of control forces people to become these like zombie things, like piles of rotten flesh, and our main character ends up saving one of them by accident because he's running experiments on the absorption of mana. He saves her, and he starts a secret organization. And then from there, it's just a school life kind of situation where he runs missions on the side. And there's a larger plot here, right? There's, like, the Chuni delusion that he had is that based on this old legend of, like, this demon and this hero, there's a cult for the demon called the Cult of Diablos, and they're in charge of finding descendants of the hero and forcing them to go this like zombification process in order to extract their secrets. And he makes it up on the spot, but it then turns out to be true. and it's a very, fun story. The school mission aspect can actually be divided into two sections if you really want to look at it that way. The first section is when he's friends with Alexis, which is this like very pampered, sadistic princess from the kingdom that he's from. And then the second part is when he's with Sherry and Rose, who are a researcher and a princess from another kingdom. And basically, it's just like he inadvertently ends up having some sort of relationship with each of them. And each relationship kind of leads to a different mission that he has to undertake. And it really doesn't end up being romantic, although the girls do seem to have romantic feelings for him. It's just kind of like, okay, they're girls that I talk to, and they're all main character level people, and I'm a side character. But then on the flip side, he has to do things in the shadows and like fix their problems, basically. And yeah, I think my favorite was probably the one with Sherry and Rose. I didn't like the story elements with Alexis that much, but it was okay. Now the characters here. We have Sid Kagano, who is the main character. He goes by Shadow when he's in his like Machiavellian puppet master form. And I like his name. Sid is an old title in Spanish that refers to a lord, and his last name, Kage, or Kagano, means shadow. So his name is literally the Lord of Shadows, which is very cool. I like that. And he's just a crazy chuny. He has these crazy delusions and this very interesting work ethic. Like, he wanted to be a puppet master so hard, and he realized that he needed magic because nukes are way too powerful. And so he's like, okay, the only way to fight nukes is to have magic. And he spends this crazy amount of time trying to develop magic. However, he ends up just becoming like this sociopathic, crazy person and dies, gets isekai'd, and then bam, he has magic now. And it like is crazy, and all of these like skills that he acquired in the real world or in our world that is so much more advanced than the world that he finds himself in now makes him be so OP compared to everyone else. And it's very well done. I really like it. Because usually OP characters are just OP because, oh, cheat skill. This isn't really a cheat skill. This is like hard-earned knowledge and hard work that he went through in order to be this powerful, which is very nice. And then everyone else is basically a side character. No one really matters in the sense that, like, he could do without them if he wanted to. But they need to be there for the story to progress and have those elements of comedy. So we have Alpha, Beta, Delta, Gamma, and Nu, which are members of the Shadow Garden, which is the organization that he created. And then we have Alexis, Sherry, and Rose. And they all get a semblance of character development, but it's very minimal and it's very over the top. It just kind of glazed over so that you know who they are and how they're different from each other. But their stories are only relevant in order for him to carry out his mission that he has at any given moment. And yeah, so the world building here is good. It's not a huge part of the story. Mostly it's just like nice little tidbits of information here and there to kind of keep you entertained and kind of develop the cult of Diablos, the possessed, and kind of the church and how they might be the bad guys. But the world is very, Renaissance-esque. Maybe, yeah, I would say Renaissance is the best thing because they still have knights and they still have very low levels of gun technology and stuff like that. But there's a certain element of advanced knowledge here that occurs at universities. So yeah, good stuff. Not really any problems with it in that sense. Now the art here is great. It's a very nice style. It's somewhere in between anime and Western comics. I think the best way to describe it is kind of like art for video games, like League of Legends or Overwatch. That kind of like really stylized, stretched out, kind of like very tall but very curvy kind of art style, where all the female characters are very curvy and have like very long legs and thin waist, and all the male characters have very like wide shoulders and very like heavy, like triangular shaped bodies and stuff. And I like it. I think the style fits really nicely, and it makes the characters look really badass when they have illustrations that are like action poses. So very good stuff on that. And the fan service here, basically there's almost none. There's one illustration that you could consider fan servicey because it's a naked girl, but you know, everything is covered. And our main character is like chilling in the back smiling because he's like telling her the story of the Cult of Diablos. And there's one scene that's described that deals with panties and like wearing them and stuff. But it actually doesn't end up being a fan servicey moment. It's more like shopping turns into bonding time between two of the characters that are female. Like, it's basically Alexis and her older sister, and they have a bonding moment that was developed through the course of the first mission that, you know, Sid went through in the school, which is nice. I like that. And yeah, so I rate this a 4 out of 5. It's very similar to why I rated Quintegrity, or the Integrity of the Super Club, as a 4.4 out of 5. It's because the story was well done, it was well written, there was no problems, but there wasn't any element that really blew my socks off or went far above and beyond and affected me in any meaningful way. It was just kind of like, okay, that was fun, and that's basically it. But yeah, so I do want to note that the comedy levels here are not like very high. It is a comedy. It's funny in premise, but it's not like Konosuba. You're not going to be laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation every time something happens. What you're going to get is very mild amusement that's kind of like far-reaching because of the fact that his chuny delusions turn out to be true. Beyond that, there's also the fact that like he doesn't really believe that it's true. Like, everyone's telling him that it's true, but he's like, nah, dude, they're just being nice. They're just acting along with me because they're nice girls, right? And it turns out that no, it's actually real. And so there's a lot of funny like feelings without any like actual laugh out loud moments. So it's kind of that type of comedy. I don't really know if I explained that well, but I hope you guys understand. Now, I definitely recommend this title. It's very fun. I really enjoyed it. I like the style, and I think the story elements are different enough from other isekai and other like basic battle-oriented stuff that you'll get a really nice, you know, refreshing look at the genre. Now, similar titles beyond Konosuba, I can't really think of anything that would be all that similar. Maybe you could say that Overlord is similar, but not really. It's just kind of like mildly similar because it deals with main characters that want to appear one way and actually are another, and it kind of forces them to act different ways. So, I don't know, right? That's as best as I can come up with. Beyond that, that's basically it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Please do make sure to subscribe. I'm almost at 300 subscribers, which is the goal for this year, and I would really appreciate it if you guys help me reach it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. See you guys later.